You should actually be doing something, but you just can't find the motivation. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you think about this, you just can't get up and actually do the thing. And in the end, you go to bed, the day is done, and you feel bad because you procrastinated all day or just did something else to avoid what you actually have to do. I've been there. And with that, I want to share a productivity hack with you today that I think you probably haven't heard on every corner by now. It's a different approach to this topic and a different way of handling things. And it's my favorite way to do things. And little disclaimer, this is no quick fix, not at all, but you get your things done and that in a playful way. Hello, hello, hello. You're listening to 1 Week at a Time, where we discover topics like living mindfully in your day-to-day and unapologetically become your true, authentic self. I'm Vanessa, your host, and today let's talk about one of my favorite things that I like to do if I tend to procrastinate or if I just don't find the motivation to do something. And what I want to talk about is gamification. This really changed so much for me. And I always say life is for living. We are here to do stuff, obviously, but we are also here to have fun, to live to the fullest and to enjoy every moment as much as possible. But with that, there's always things to do that we don't want to do, that we don't feel motivated to do, that are uncomfortable, that are just not like what we would prefer if we had a choice. And this is where gamification comes into play for me. This is making tasks so much more joyful and so much more enjoyable, even though you spread them out, I will come to that later, over a longer period of time than they might take, but you get them done in a super fun way, especially when you really lack motivation for that. And it's just about splitting these scary big chunks that you have to do that are on your plate that want to be taken care of, and you put it into tiny little baby pieces that you can do bit by bit, and all of a sudden this big plate is gone and you did what you had to do. You can check it up. And let me share with you some examples where I use gamification on a regular basis in my day-to-day. One thing is cleaning the kitchen. Honestly, I'm not a kitchen girl. I don't like cooking. I just like eating. And what comes before eating and what comes after eating are the things that I try to avoid as much as possible. Unfortunately, I don't have a private chef, so I have to deal with the stuff. And what I like to do is, well, cooking usually is one process. But after that, when the food is done, what I like to do is I tend to wash up 1 or 2 things or put them in the dishwasher, 1 or 2 or 3 things every time I go into the kitchen anyways. Or if it's done pretty fast, I like to do things like I have an area in my kitchen where I can put stuff. Then they have the cooking field. Then I have an area with stuff and the sink. So that's basically how my kitchen works. And what I like to do is do one piece at a time. So I start with, whenever I go into the kitchen, I know it sounds so silly when I tell you, but it's just how I work, and maybe you find it interesting. I tend to do just one thing and clean the first part of the kitchen. And then whenever I go into the kitchen for the next time, maybe to get something to drink or whatsoever, I do the middle part and I clean that and then I make that shiny. And so I go through my kitchen, and within 4 or 5 times going into the kitchen looks like brand new and nice, but I didn't have to do it all at once, which, even though it's not a big kitchen, it sometimes feels overwhelming. And the same I tend to do with cleaning the bathroom. Like, it's unavoidable as well. And what I do, either I do it on the weekend, listening to a podcast and just going full in and forgetting the world around me. That's one way. Or if I'm really not in the mood of cleaning the bathroom, every time I go to take a loo, I just clean one thing. That might be the shower. That might be the sink. That might be the mirror. So I go every time and do something tiny that takes like 3 to 5 minutes. And in the end of the day, it's super clean, it's super nice, it's shiny, and I didn't have to do it all at once. That's my way of cleaning the bathroom oftentimes. And the same goes for folding my laundry. When it sits there waiting to be put away, I'm like, I really don't feel like folding another t-shirt and putting it back. And what I then do is like taking 3 things, whatever this is, from the, how do you say, from the rack, I would say, and put them into the closet. And that I do over and over again until I can put the drying device. I don't know how you probably say it. I just put it away then and it's done. It's like, okay, over time, but it's progress. It's slowly and steady progress. And the same I do with my nails. I tend to do my nails myself, and it really takes time to getting them down, to getting them in form, everything, the whole process. If you go to the nail salon, it takes an hour. For me, it takes a lot more time. But I'm like super picky and everything has to be perfect, so I take my time. And this way I do it like one day, for example, I take everything down and put them in form. And the next day I just paint them and do whatever I want to do with them. Or sometimes, depending on how I feel, I do it like in sets of 2s. Usually always do 2 fingers at a time. It's easier. The color doesn't move. I don't want to bore you with how I do my nails. But then I do 2 nails. Then I do something in between, like working for an hour or something. Then I go back and do the next set of nails. Takes me forever, but in the end, it lasts 2 to 3 weeks, and I love that. I look at my nails and I'm happy, and I know I could go to the salon and just get them done in an hour, but for me, it's like, no, I can really put my personality in there and play around with all the stuff I have, which I probably couldn't explain the way I wanted it to the person sitting in front of me and doing my nails, because I like to be super playful about that. And so, yeah, I try to gamificate this as well. And another area where I do it is when I want to build a habit. After training for my half marathon and being like super disciplined, because I know I have this goal in mind and I want to achieve it the best way possible, I was like, oh, I don't want to do sports as much as I did now. I don't want to go running every other day. I don't want to go to the gym all the time. And I just need a little time to just unwind and just relax a little. And I'm now going back to the habit of 5 to 6 times doing sports or movement in a week. And I built that up. I started like, okay, the week after the half marathon, I just do movement in any way. I don't know what I did once this week. So I had this one appointment that said running, for example, and that's it for the whole week. And the next week, what I did was I put a second one in there. So this week I did running and going to the gym, for example. So I had 2 appointments. So the next week goes on and it's 3 movements then. So one's running, one's going to the gym, one session of yoga. And you get it. It's like getting the habit done week by week. So it's not, okay, I did my pause and now I'm back in like for the 5 to 6 times a week. But no, I build up again slowly the habit. I get myself time to really get the stress out, to really get back again to, okay, now I rested well and now I want to move again, but I don't want to do it all at once. I like to build it up. And that's a way of gamification as well. When I want to do something and I put it in slowly and steady. And I think one more thing that I do that's probably super weird for many people is I tend to do the same with drying my hair after a shower and doing my makeup. Like my hair isn't like that, just drying of the ear. It's like frizzy and kind of curly, but not super curly. It's a mess actually if I let it dry the way it is. So if I want to have it kind of sleek, then I have to blow dry it. And you know one thing I don't like? Blow drying my hair. So what I do is I always put 3 sections of hair, and the same thing when I go to the bathroom, I dry one part of my hair and the next time the next layer and the last time the last layer. So slowly but steady, I have dry hair, my hair is in form. I can go out like this, but it takes time. So if someone would ask me how much time I need in the bathroom or how many hours I need to get done, I honestly can't tell you, because so many times I don't do it just all at once, but bit by bit, like getting my makeup done as well. Then I put on the powder and the next time the mascara, and I know For some people, it might be weird, but for me, it's like, yeah, I could do it all at once, but I enjoy this playfulness throughout the day to like getting ready. And sometimes I do the same when I unwind from the day, like not getting in my comfy clothes ready for the couch all at once, but it's like slowly but steady that I'm still wearing kind of a blazer or a blouse and then my pajama pants, for example. And so slowly but steady. Yeah, I know. And I know my boyfriend is always laughing at me from time to time in a very cute way because he thinks like this is so weird. I've never met anyone do the things the way you do. But for me, it works. And I think maybe I'm not the only weirdo in this world that does things different and that likes to split them up and not do them at once. And there's an interesting fact that because our brain always, when we do these tiny little tasks, sends out a little push of dopamine. So we always feel this little reward in our brains that tells us, well done, you did something, you achieved something. And even sometimes when we think about doing something, like when we plan, okay, today I will clean the bathroom and it will take me a few times to go there and do that. Even when thinking about this progress and getting prepared, this little dopamine pushes can be released as well, which is super interesting because we can get in a happy mood kind of all the way doing this. Of course, we get a dopamine push after the big thing as well. But we can like send little baby doses throughout the day if we're doing it like this. And this is why we love our to-do lists, not the to-do list itself, but checking the boxes. Every time you do something, I know some productivity apps do that as well. When you push the little checkbox or you move something in the done folder, it makes something. It makes a noise like ding, or it makes a little firework emoji or whatsoever comes up to like push this little reward in our brain as well. And also, what this kind of gamification does is to improve our intrinsic motivation. Because when it comes from the inside, it's you telling you what to do. It's not someone from the outside forcing something on you and saying you have to do it like this or that. But you yourself are in charge. You can decide how to do that. And this pushes the motivation, the intrinsic motivation, way higher than if someone gives you a plan and says, okay, by tomorrow it's done. And sometimes when we're lucky, we don't stop after the short point. Let's take, for example, the bathroom. Sometimes I go into the bathroom with the intention of just cleaning the sink, and then I end up doing all the rest because I'm just in the flow. That doesn't happen every time, but ever so often it happens that it just fades out, that you want to do more because, well, now I started this process, or doing the kitchen, for example, like, why should I wait to clean the rest of the kitchen when it's a 5-minute job? Today I have the time, I have the motivation, let's just go. So it's not a necessity to do it this way, but sometimes it's nice to at least have the option to make it playful, to make it as wide and as easy and as fun as possible. And I think what this gamification is not is like self-optimization or tricking yourself into doing things on a high level. It's actually taking care of your needs. You feel in yourself, what do I need today? What do I need right now? And then follow through that without the force, without this tightness of, "Oh, I don't feel like that. I don't want to do that," and to live with more ease because you know you get done what you want to get done because it's just you doing how you want it. No one's forcing you. It's just yourself making the plan, making the rules, and trying to make it as fun and enjoyable as possible. So I told you already about where I do gamification, and I think there's way more ways to do that. There's so many ways to do that, and I want to share some that I put together with you. So maybe there is a way you can try it out next time you're hanging somewhere and you're like not getting over the bump and you're like, I want to, but I don't have the motivation, that you can try and see how it goes for you. And the first thing is to set a timer. If you want to, for example, clean the kitchen or do the household in general, you can just set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes and say, okay, I do these, let's say 10 minutes. I set a timer in my phone. And when this rings, I put everything away. I'm done. I can leave it the way it is. And honestly, you will be surprised how much you can get done in 10 minutes. I've tried this a few times. And every time I think like, isn't it over already? Shouldn't I be done by now? And then still 5 minutes or 3 minutes on the countdown. And I'm like, wow, I don't know what to do anymore. Because if you're really focusing on one thing, 10 minutes can be a lot, for example, in the household. And you will really get things done. Or you can even make it a gamification in the gamification. If you add on a little challenge, for example, and say, okay, let's see how much I can get done. Last time I did, for example, the whole kitchen and parts of the living room. Let's see if today I can get even more done, or what is in it today, or if I can get the kitchen done and the bathroom or whatsoever. I think 10 minutes is a really small window for both of these rooms, but you get the idea. And it can be really, really fun to just try it out and to just give yourself a certain amount of time. And then you're like, okay, I did it. I'm done. The second idea is to treat yourself. I'm not a fan of earning treats, like I earned my treat because I went to the gym. This is not what I'm talking about. But sometimes it can really be nice to give yourself a little treat. If you say, okay, I just stick to the household examples for today. I just want to clean the bathroom today. And after that, I can sit on the couch, get myself a nice ice cream out of the freezer, and watch an episode of my favorite series, for example. So you have this little reward in mind that brings you to, okay, I will do the one thing now. And after that, I can relax for the rest of the day or for a while or whatever the day brings up. And you can be like, okay, I did it. And now I really enjoy this little treat afterward because I earned it. The next thing is interesting if you want to build a habit. Habits are built day by day. Let's say you want to read every time, let's say 10 pages. And you start with day 1, you open your book, it's easy. The next day, you're like, I would have something else to do, but I'm on day 2. So you start this habit, and in the beginning, it might be easy or tough, depending on the habit. And the more days you track this habit, like you achieve what you wanted to do, you read this 10 pages for a week, for 2 weeks, it's more unlikely for you to stop this habit because you're building up a streak. And when there's a streak of, let's say, 1 week might be pretty short, but let's say 3 weeks or 3 months, you're like, okay, I have the streak. And if I don't do it today, my streak will start at 0 again. Is it worth it not doing the habit, or is it easier to just follow through, read the 10 pages, click the checkbox that I did it, and have another day in the books? So our mind is getting this little reward of ticking the box after really doing what we said we wanted to do and sticking to that habit. And within that, we build the habit. So one day, if we don't do it, it feels strange because it's like if you get up and you don't brush your teeth, you will probably feel like something's missing in the morning routine. So bit by bit, the more often we repeat it, it becomes part of us and part of what we do on a daily basis without even thinking about it. And these little apps and these little checks can really, really do the difference in this one. Another thing is asking yourself, what's the bare minimum? You can do that with household, with habits, with working, whatsoever. So if you say, okay, every day or every work day or whatsoever, I want to do this task, and this task. And if I did these, I'm good for the day. There's always more to do. I think every one of us has a to-do list that's endless, basically. But if these 3 things are done, for example, it's okay. I can call it a day if I really don't feel like doing anymore. And I can go on the couch, watch Netflix, do whatever I want to, go for a walk, take time off, go drink a coffee outside. The possibilities are endless there. And sticking to this bare minimum can make it easier to check boxes. So you already have the feeling, okay, I did something today. I moved forward. It's not that I didn't do nothing. Even though I didn't feel like doing it, I did it anyway. And this gives you a good feeling as well. And it takes the pressure off a little, like to having to do the whole to-do list, but at least these points are important. It's setting a frame in a way. Or you do it like I do. And you do the playful part in the household, or just deciding whenever you see something you want to split up or you don't feel like doing all at once. You just do it the way you feel it. Maybe for you, it's not hanging 3 clothes in the closets, but 5. Or you cleaning the whole kitchen, but splitting up the bathroom, for example. Or you're like, I work an hour, I go to the gym for an hour, then I work for an hour, then I call my best friend for an hour, and you just split up your day like this. It always depends on what's your personality. How do you feel? What gives you the feeling of freedom and playfulness and makes it easier for you to do what you want to do, but also feeling that you value yourself and that you give yourself what you actually want and need. So yeah, I think we all know this. We all don't have motivation every day, all day. We all have an endless to-do list, and we sometimes just don't know where to start and where to end. And maybe, just maybe, no, I'm sure about it, this method might take a little longer than just doing the things all at once. Of course it does. But it's better to get things done your way, even though it takes longer. But in the end of the day, you go to bed and you're happy and you're at peace because you know, okay, I did what I wanted to. Of course, there's always a way to do it better, but I always say, actually better done than perfect. And I think we're never too old to play. Maybe we're too old for the playground, but we're not too old for the playground called life. So what do you think? Am I the weird one here, or is there actually anyone that does it the same way, or someone that I inspire to do it the way I do and like getting the pressure out of things? I would love to hear that from you. Either you text me here in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify, for example, you can leave a comment as well. And as always, there's an Instagram post coming out the day that this podcast is released. So there's multiple options, but I really love to come in contact with you because I think maybe you would do something completely different, which I love to hear, or someone else might read it and think like, oh, this is a good idea as well. So let's work together here and share our best practices and where we use this and how we use this, and everyone can profit from that. And with that said, I thank you so, so much for sharing your time with me. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And if you have someone that should listen to this episode as well, because this person is always too much in their head and never gets actually really something done, but they could if they wanted to, send this episode to them. I'm sure they will appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe, whether you're listening on YouTube or on your podcast app. And I am so, so happy to see you here again next Sunday. Have a great week ahead. Bye, 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 bye.